kind of help out here. My name's Trent. I have a couple different jobs. I work at the university as a professor in photonics and laser technology. I also work with Ryan at a company called Blackwell Sensors and Analytics, and we develop photonics-based LiDAR sensors for self-driving cars and autonomous navigation. So that's pretty fun. And I'm also the incoming president of the MPIA, which I'll talk about, because if you don't know it or not, there's a lot of photonics that are happening here in the Valley. So I have a little presentation we'll go through. It's only going to last about half hour, 45 minutes, so bear with me. But we'd like to start these presentations by showing you guys a little video that kind of highlights how prevalent photonics is in our everyday lives, because I think a lot of people won't realize that. So we'll start with this little video and then we'll go from there.
That you probably wouldn't miss it. Or would you?
Everybody hear that right?
Hey, Mom, have you seen my cell phone?
Your cell phone?
You know, touchscreen apps?
Well, your phone is right there in the wall, son. Never mind.
The wall? Whatever. Oh.
Honey, are you feeling okay?
Hold on, Mom. Jason, give me a sec, guy.
Not quite sure what you're doing with that empty box of milk that's there.
With that?
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
What?
You didn't fall off your skateboard and hit your head, did you?
Well, no, I did not hit my head.
Well, quit moving around and ready for school.
Nice of you to join us.
Where's the smart board?
The smartboard?
You know, a magic pen able to move pictures around with wavier hand?
Magic pens? You haven't recently fallen and hit your head, have you?
No, why does everybody keep asking me that? Somebody playing some big prank or something?
Maybe you should go down to the nurse's office and get checked out. You might have a fever or migraine. And as you do, I'll continue today's lesson on the smartboard, I just called it. Now, where were we?
Dude, you won't believe what just happened. I just got this new record. So I couldn't find my smartphone. Yeah, right. And then I thought I was playing a video game, but I was just holding on to an empty box. Then somebody took the class smartboard, and they sent me to the nurse's office. Pretty bizarre.
Right, anyway, I just got this new record. Really listen to it. It's wicked.
Wicked? Why didn't you just download it on iTunes?
I what? Anyway, just listen. It's awesome.
This isn't funny. Yeah, I'm out of here.
In the dungeon factory, you'll find a brewery.
No prices. Hey, can you run back and get those for me?
Why don't you just scan them?
Do what?
You know, laser scanner?
All right, soda, 129, candy, 99 cents. Thanks.
What do I do with this?
Run it, of course.
Run it? Dude, I don't know where you're from, but we take cash.
What kind of store is this?
The kind that takes cash.
That was you? How
home school today?
Great.
Good. Don't forget you have that paper due tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll leave you to it then.
Yeah. Thank you.
Don't forget you have that paper due tomorrow.
I got a new record and it's pretty wicked. Oh, right there in the wall, so that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I don't know where you're from. Wanna go get this cat? You know, raise this cat. It's incredible. If you
Yeah.
to the story, it's one of those that you keep.
I've never seen. Oh, hey, did you get your paper done?
I did. What's it on? Photonics.
Oh,
Photonics.
You didn't sneak into your dad's liquor cabinet, did you?
No, Mom, I didn't. I'm gonna go play video games before dinner.
Photon. Have you ever heard of that?
Photon.
How do you spell that? With a PH?
Photonics. Is it F or P?
It's P.
Probably P.
All right. So we like to play that video to So we like to play that video to kind of give you guys an idea of how prevalent photonics is in our everyday society. So we'll get into all those different applications, but hopefully that gave you a good sort of basic understanding of sort of how prevalent it is. And so we'll talk about it in a bit, but you guys understand electronics, right? What it's done for us in the last 100 years. Your TVs, your phones, all this type of stuff, refrigerators, microwaves, right? Electricity was so prevalent in the last 100 years, and what they're calling photonics is the electronics of the 21st century. So it'll be as sort of impactful in the 21st century as electronics were for us in the last 100 years. So it's an up-and-coming industry, and it's something that you guys should really understand because, Ryan and I work in it, and it's super fun every day to go in and play with lasers and stuff like this. So So what is photonics? Does anybody sort of know based on the video we just watched? Any ideas? So photon means light, right? So photonics, what it stands for, is the study of light. And so all the stuff that we work on, all these applications are all about the study of light. And so, we're going to go on this side. So, let's just,
Go.
Alright. So photonics is the study of generating and harnessing light. And so the most important part in understanding photonics is a concept that we call the electromagnetic spectrum. Has anybody ever heard of the electromagnetic spectrum before? So you guys take a guess at what it means? So every wavelength of light is what encompasses the electromagnetic spectrum, right? And so this wavelength, so you guys know waves in the water, right? You have these waves. And so the wavelength of that is the distance between the two peaks, right? So if you throw a rock in the water, you see the ripples coming out away from it, right? The wavelength of that is really important because it sort of tells us a lot about what's going on here. And so what a lot of people don't understand is that light encompasses everything. So the people say microwaves, right? And they think, okay, it's just a microwave. Well, that's actually light inside that microwave that's warming up your food. So we'll go through all this, but people think that light is just the stuff that we can see with our eyes, right? All these colors and all that stuff. That's only a really small portion called the visible spectrum. And so we kind of break it into 6 different categories. Who's heard of gamma rays before? Yeah, I mean, they basically say that's the way that the Hulk got generated, right? It's from gamma rays. And so, in essence, they're the most highly energetic light that we have. And actually, it doesn't exist on our Earth's surface, because if it did, we would all just be burnt to death, right? And so they only exist in the far touches of our universe. They don't exist on the Earth's surface because they're too energetic. They would just burn everything up on the Earth's surface. And so, yeah, that didn't really generate the Hulk, they say that. But because they're the most high energy, that means they're the shortest wavelengths. So really small distances between the peaks of the waveform, right? So when you look at a pond, a rock you throw in the pond, right, they have a wavelength of, say, 2 feet or 3 feet. Gamma rays have a wavelength of like 1 times 10 to the minus 13th, so picometers in distance. So really, really tiny. So that means they're the most highly energetic light that we have. Next, we have X-rays. Who's broken a bone before? Who's had to have an X-ray before? And so do you guys ever notice when you guys go down the lane and X-ray, what do? They take this big lead plate and they lay